Hello, and welcome to episode 33 of Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo,
I'm Nick.
and it's great to be here. Another wonderful week, another wonderful episode. Pressing Buttons brought to you by Nick and I. We're excited to be here, and just a quick little rundown of some future stuff. Evo footage that we captured at Evo 2022 in August, last month basically, will be coming out on Friday, I promise you. Release Friday. So tune into that. I will post it up on Discord and YouTube, and you guys can watch the shenanigans that we got into at Evo. Mind you, it is our first kind of on the road convention footage, and we're not great videographers, so do with that what you will. It is good footage though. We got some good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even know this. You heard it here first. I had no idea we were actually launching this content on Fridays. So that's I'm glad to hear it.
You can see the reaction if you're watching on video. Nick's live reaction of shock. What are you doing, Hugo?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah,
And you already gave me your notes on my camera capturing style. So
I did.
I'll try to do better next time.
Little tidbit. Just so you know, I have not started working on this at all. I'm saying Friday because I'm giving myself a deadline, so it will be done by Friday. So it will be done by Friday. Motivation by putting my back against the wall, kind of thing. So I like it. We are also almost at 100 members on Discord. So thanks for our, I believe, about 85 members that we have right now. Thanks everybody for supporting the Discord and supporting the podcast, and everybody who is a Nitro booster, appreciate you. Whoever boosts the channel, thanks for that. I know we have Hoochie Daddy Migs and Wolf Venom. Typical names for people.
Classic gamer tags, yeah.
And Keezy and all of those guys, I will find out everybody's name who's boosting the server. We appreciate that, just because it helps us out and it helps the server out by giving a better streaming quality and audio quality. So thanks everybody for boosting the server. And then as a thank you going forward, Nick and I kind of decided this when we were doing the warm-ups for the show. We usually do like a little test video where we just talk random shenanigans. So we will be releasing some of that in the future on the channel. So if you're not on Discord, please jump on Discord so you can get access to this exclusive content, for those loyal Discord members. It's just basically us shooting the shit and doing practice recordings and saying what's on our mind. So it's more of a unfiltered, even though we're usually unfiltered anywhere.
Even more unfiltered. And I thought, wasn't there supposed to be like a T-shirt giveaway?
Well, when we get to 100, we got to get to 100.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. I'm just trying to keep you honest. I thought you just kind of glossed right over that. So
No. I mean, I've given away so many shirts already.
But not to me. But yeah. Everyone else. Everyone else has a shirt.
If I see you on the streets and you recognize me from pressing buttons, you get a free T-shirt. So there you go.
Can you tell the story of the pressing buttons firefighter shirt situation? So
for those of you that don't know, I work at a base as a firefighter out in Long Island, and there was an accident last Wednesday. And right in front of the base that we responded to, there was a motor vehicle accident. And, crazy stuff, overturned car. Somebody was trapped in the other car, so we had to use the Joss Life and all that stuff to get them out of the car. And one of my coworkers, because I gave the pressing buttons shirt to a lot of my coworkers, one of my coworkers was wearing a pressing buttons shirt under his firefighter overcoat. So it was pretty funny because once we were done extricating the victim and we were packing up and everything, he had taken his bunker top off because it gets pretty hot when you're wearing that stuff, especially late at night and you've been working. And it was just funny because I'm like, oh shit, you're wearing the pressing button shirt, so free advertising in this horrible situation. Little ray of light. So that was pretty funny. So if if you see pressing buttons out there in some news 12 or something like that, we made it mainstream.
Love it.
Yeah. So if you do have a pressing button shirt out there, if you have been one of the few lucky people that have gotten pressing button shirt, please take a picture, upload it to our Discord. We want to see people with our awesome shirts, the awesome logo done by D-Pass. I think it looks great on the shirt. The people who have gotten the shirts, they love it. So please show it off in Discord. And Nick will eventually get one soon.
And I really could have used it too, because I still don't have any of my stuff. I'm still like technically like moving.
Yeah.
Which again on the video, it's very obvious that I'm not completely situated yet. But getting all of our stuff has taken way longer than we planned, and so we still only have the things that we brought with us on the road trip. So I literally have like 5 shirts. Yeah. So.
Well, they're in the trunk of my car.
Really need that. Really need that pressing button shirt.
They're in the trunk of my car, so like if I'm at work, I have my car with me. If I'm here, I have my car with me. So I just go to my trunk and take out shirts whenever I need to give them to people. And I keep forgetting that you're here. You will get a shirt, I promise.
20 minutes away, dude.
Yeah. I got you. I should have brought them yesterday when I was in Queens. I forgot.
That's all right. Yeah. I guess I could just buy more shirts. We do live in a place where you can buy clothes, so...
We got it. It's a very popular shirt, as you can see. But only one of our hosts has the shirt. All right, enough about shirts, enough about Discord. Let's jump right into our news of the week. We're going to start right off with Xbox Game Pass. We just got some leaked information that they're getting the Friends and Family Game Pass tryouts are out in Colombia and the Republic of Ireland. Now, Nick, as you guys know from hearing the podcast, very big proponent of Game Pass. I myself prefer PlayStation Plus, but that's neither here or there. It seems to be like they are pushing the pricing of what is normally the ultimate tier of Game Pass, which is $15 a month, which gives you access to Game Pass on PlayStation. That gives you access to Game Pass on Xbox and PC for $15 a month. It looks like they're rebranding that tier, and they're going to make it a family plan where you can share the Game Pass with up to 5 accounts, which in my eyes sounds like a great deal. Obviously, it all depends on what games are in the system, and also which ones of your friends or family also have the system, are in the Xbox ecosystem, and we'll get the most benefits out of it. But for $15 a month, if they keep the same pricing, it sounds like a home run of a deal for anybody that is a Xbox fanboy or anything like that, or just appreciates the ability to have games on rotation, be able to play free games, and just instead of paying for the $15 for one person, get a little bit of a collection going, and then just get it at a discount. And I know some of our friends, like Mitch and Zach, they like Game Pass. They also have Game Pass, and it would be a great deal. The only thing with this is it does seem like if you've already paid, if you subscribe to Game Pass, I know that there was a lot of deals going on where people were buying months and months of Game Pass at a discount. It does seem like when you switch over to the family tier plan, it's going to do some sort of discount or something like that. I don't want to give too much detail into that because, one, it's not out completely yet, and two, we don't know what it's going to look like, but it might affect if you've purchased months and months of Game Pass already. What are your thoughts on this? I know this is something that, I think we kind of figured it might be coming out a couple months back, and it's good to hear that it's coming out.
Yeah, I think it's not surprising. Again, with these subscription services, it's just more or less inevitable when they'll kind of launch this type of product offering, where it's call it like a family plan or friends and family or whatever. I think most kind of mature streaming services, or just streaming services that have been around for a while, more or less create one of these product offerings. And I think they're going to charge a higher price. Did you say they're definitely going to charge a higher price for this? Like, it's not going to be the same.
Well, in the testing areas in Colombia and Republic of Ireland, it seems like the conversion rate. It looks like the ultimate tier is the same cost as the family plan, but obviously in the U.S. It'll probably switch. So normally right now
Yeah.
it's $15. I can totally see that going maybe $20 a month or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be at least five, if not like $10 more per month. And yeah, I think they talk about subscriber numbers quite a bit. I think they often mention it in Microsoft's like financial results that they need to release quarterly because they're a publicly traded company. So I think people are going to be really focused on growth in subscriber numbers, and launching a family plan or like a friends and family plan is one easy way to juice up your subscriber numbers, because it's a pretty compelling value proposition. I think a lot of people will opt into it. The trade-off there is like, yes, you're going to grow your subscriber numbers, but the average revenue per user, which is like a pretty common like key metric, in gaming, that's gonna go down quite a bit. So it's really just a question to Microsoft in terms of how they kind of, they're a big company. I'm sure they can handle the impact to their financials, but like their average revenue per user is going to go down quite a bit if this product offering takes off. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see. To me, it's one of the challenges with these types of programs is like, how do you actually police like who your family is or friends and family? And based on this testing, it just seems to be like if you're in the same country, that's good enough, which is like pretty generous. Like I've seen other subscription services where they like tend to leverage like a lot of geolocation data and try to make sure like you're at least in the same zip code or whatever, to make sure that you're actually like close by. So it just depends on how they'll police it. But yeah, I mean, I think if you can, right now there's at least, four of us in our weekly game night where we're all on Game Pass. It's very easy for us to play games together. Like if they launch this in the US, like we're absolutely going to try to like just have one person like have an account, and basically we're all going to be paying, instead of currently paying, $10 or $15, we'll be paying, $5 or less, or, depending on the pricing. So I think we'll definitely try that out, just to see if it works. So it becomes even more valuable.
We'll have to see what you guys are gonna do with all those free months you guys stacked up or whatever.
Well, I think they'll just translate it. So like if you say, hey, I have this many months under this price point, they'll just convert that to whatever the new plan is. And I think they'll work something out there. But yeah, I don't know, maybe there is like an edge case, because I think you're talking about like people getting like 3 years for like $10 or like whatever that like crazy deal was. Like, yeah, maybe they.
Well, it's like the same thing that PlayStation did when it converted to the new PlayStation Plus tier, where everybody who had bought years of PlayStation Plus, and then when it switched over to the new tier, there was this big whole controversy in terms of like people were losing months, people were losing money, the value wasn't the same. Fortunately, Sony was able to rectify that within like I think a week or whatever it was. So if there is any issue, I'm pretty sure Microsoft will listen to the fans, to the gamers, and make sure that nobody's upset about this. Because if there's one crowd you don't want to piss off, is the gaming crowd. Going back to what you were saying in terms of policing, I think it will be interesting. It does seem like they're kind of pushing for it to be more of an easier route for people to be able to share the accounts. Unlike something like Netflix, what Netflix is doing now with locking down on family shared accounts and stuff like that, this seems to just be on the easier route, where it'll probably be just like one account that everybody can share. And, being somebody who has done kind of like something like this on PlayStation, with my friend Juan, where I have his account on my PlayStation and he has my account on his PlayStation. So that way, if I download something, he can download it, and if he downloads something, I can download it. And that it's not too difficult, but um, it's restricted to just two people. Having something like this, where it's Game Pass, where it's going to be a five account type thing, I think it's definitely a much better bargain and a much better value for that. So maybe if you guys need a fifth, I might jump in there finally on the Game Pass boat train.
Wow. All it took was a friends and family plan to finally make you a believer.
Well, you know what it is too. It's. I feel like I wouldn't get the value of it as a singular individual. I think as a group, yeah, if because we would be playing kind of the same games, multiplayer games, it would be more of an advantage and more of an enticing option to be like, oh, okay, we all have Game Pass. Let's play Rocket League or Fall Guys or Call of Duty or whatever game is on Game Pass. I think it just makes it easier. Whereas me as an individual, I don't think I want to get Game Pass just to have it for myself because of the rotating games and the nature of how I play those games.
Yeah. Yeah. So, they'll have a so Microsoft will probably try to keep this product offering like as flexible and generous as possible, with the idea that they just want as many people exposed to the Game Pass service. And then I think the idea is over time they'll probably introduce a little bit more, introduce some more friction to, people probably needing to get their own account over some period of time. They'll be able to recover their like average revenue per user, and that's more or less what Netflix did, right? For a long time, they didn't care too much about people sharing their accounts because it's like, well, they just want people using Netflix and building a habit around Netflix. And then when they actually need to start moving away from, once user growth started kind of slowing down, they needed to focus more on profitability. That's why you saw them pretty recently starting to get a little bit more rigid around account management and things like that, because I think they're seeing their user growth and subscriber counts kind of stalling out a little bit. Their content costs are very, very high and continue to grow, and they need to get more discipline around managing that. So, but yeah, I think, Game Pass is still like very early on. So I think, again, like they're just going to be pretty open-minded and flexible with these things. I think for users, it's great. It's, we'll probably have at least like a few years where it'll probably be like this, and then down the road they'll start raising prices and make it less flexible for account sharing and all of that. So take advantage while you can.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, especially because Sony has the market share in terms of consoles. At least between them and Xbox, they have the lead. I think it's 2-1 in terms of Xbox to PlayStation, even with the shortage. So I can definitely see, like you said, this going on for 2 to 3 years in terms of until they catch up. It'll still be of great value. Now, if they overtake Sony or if they catch up to Sony, I think maybe that's when you'll start seeing maybe them messing around with the prices and being more competitive and going after consumers. But like you said, enjoy it while it lasts. I will. All right, and then in the heels of that news, the next bit of news we're going to talk about is Halo Infinite. I know we don't really talk about Halo Infinite that much on the podcast. I think we've talked about it 2 or 3 times in terms of the issues that the studio's having releasing content and also the roadmaps and stuff like that. And they just recently did a big announcement basically saying that they're extending Season 2, which started in May. They're going to extend it all the way till March of next year. It was supposed to end in November. So if you're counting, that's a 10-month season, which Halo being one of Microsoft's biggest franchises, basically a console seller and all that stuff, has gotten the community really riled up just because an 8-month season sounds really absurd. in terms of content, they will be releasing some maps and some cosmetics in November when the new season was supposed to be out, but it's still not enough to, I guess, satisfy all the players. They are also canceling local couch co-op, which, you know, if you've known Halo since Halo 1 came out, it was one of those things that kind of drove people. Even though now people do co-op online, couch co-op was like one of those things that attract a lot of people to Halo, especially doing LAN parties and stuff like that. But this is very intriguing news and kind of sad news, I would say, just because me playing a live service game like Destiny, Destiny kind of had its own moment like this last year, where season 15 started in August of 2021 and it didn't end until February 2022. So it was a full 6 months of one season. I finished the season in about 2 months, so there was 4 months where like there was nothing going on in the game except for seasonal activities, and it was very boring. A lot of the community was very upset about it. So now with Halo, it's a 10-month season, and the game itself wasn't doing well in terms of appeasing the community and content being out there and just overall gameplay. I think it's not looking so well for 343 Studios. I know they're trying their hardest. It was a very big task from Microsoft trying to push them to be able to have the quality of games that like Bungie did when they were in charge of Halo. And then it makes you think, just with the new acquisition of Activision Blizzard and all the studios that they have that have such knowledge and pedigree for first person shooters and stuff like that, and live service games. It makes you think if down the road maybe one of those studios like Infinity Ward or Treyarch or something like that will either help or just kind of take over the Halo franchise. What are your thoughts on this, just for 343 Studios in general, Halo Infinite, or the fact that it's a 10-month season?
Yeah, I actually don't really have a good like, what is a good season? Like, what's like the optimal season length? And
Well, this is all going off of the Bungie and Destiny, just because I feel like they've kind of cornered the market on live service games and how it's done. It took them a while, but they do it really well. I think about 3 months is a good season, and they'll sprinkle in there single player story stuff, but they'll also do seasonal stuff like for Halloween and Christmas and stuff like that. And they keep new content coming. Anything after 3 months, I think, especially for a live service game, I think you'll just be disappointed because you've done everything you can at that point.
so it's the 4 seasons. So it's quite a literal application of seasons. I don't know. I think that feels right. I'm such like I've done a ton of stuff like in finance, and I'm programmed to think of everything in terms of like quarters. so to me that kind of feels right. Where it's like, oh yeah, like every 3 months. It does make sense.
It does make sense.
Every 3 months feels good. So if I were to, if someone were to ask me that, I probably would have said somewhere around 3 months. And I actually don't really have a good feel of whether that's what most live service games are kind of already doing anyway. I think it is probably somewhere around there.
From playing Fortnite and like Rocket League and Bungie and Destiny and Call of Duty, it does seem to be like it's a 3 month process, which is the sweet spot.
So what does it say that like 10 so 10 months sounds long? Do you think that's actually because they have so much content that's like genuinely how long it takes, or do you think it's actually more the opposite, where like they don't have a lot of content and they need to like,
I think it's the opposite.
Drip feed it for a very long period of time, and I'm guessing that's the latter. But
yeah, I think it's the opposite. They don't have enough content, and they're still trying to figure themselves out, still trying to figure the studio out, still trying to figure the game out, which kind of sucks because this would make it like an incomplete game. It's not a game that was supposed to be released, but obviously it's Halo. Microsoft wanted one of their heavy hitters out there, especially for the launch of Xbox, and it's kind of hampered the studio and the development of it. I think it ultimately looks like it's hurting them more than helping them releasing that video game They could have done something like multiverses. You have multiverses, which is the new free-to-play fighter. They're still kind of in beta. It's not a fully released game, but it does have a lot of stuff that you can do at the moment. I feel like if they would have just kind of released like that kind of beta work in progress thing and had advertised it in that way, it would have given them much more leeway with the community. Whereas now there was a lot of stuff that was promised when the game came out that hasn't been released. It won't be released in certain things like the couch co-op, and then you also have the seasons themselves. From what I'm hearing, aren't structured very well. Things are expensive, or you just aren't able to unlock them a certain way. Live service games are hard, I understand, but you definitely, especially with something like Halo, you definitely have to have a good plan coming in. Otherwise, people are going to be disappointed. You're turning off a lot of people, and you can't be doing that with Halo.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I care about is the online campaign co-op. So I haven't even. I think I did some of the initial, like one of the multiplayer like network tests. I think I've like played around with that for a little bit. But other than that, I've just been like patiently waiting for the campaign co-op, which I think they said comes out. That'll finally come out in November or
But yeah,
end of the
that's
year.
the other thing. Like even online co-op. Like why wasn't it available at the beginning?
Well, and it was supposed to come out earlier this year, right?
Yeah, you could have been enjoying campaign co-op Halo with friends, but now instead, like, imagine if you bought this game when it came out, expecting it to for the co-op to be out in March or whatever or May, and it's still not out. Like, I'd be disappointed. I wouldn't be playing this game anymore, type of thing.
Yeah, I think that's where Game Pass is a bit of like an enabler of like disappointing releases. Because from my perspective, I'm like, okay, like I didn't pay anything directly just for this title, so it's giving me some like patience with it. But if you bought this on Steam, like at full price or whatever, like I'd be pissed. So I wonder, and I think I would need to look. Like I'm sure the Steam user counts are just like so bad for this game. So
And it also makes you think about their future games because you also have Fable, which has been kind of in discussion lately because one of the studio people were saying that it's the development's going good, but they don't want to show anything. That also is going to be a live service game. You hope that it comes out really well, especially because Fable also has a lot of big fans, but this doesn't really inspire confidence. Live service games are really tough. You can see why Sony bought Bungie because Bungie has a good track record with Destiny being in live service games, and they seem to know what they're doing. But every one of these games is hit or miss. I mean, you for every success that you have with like Fortnite and Destiny and all that stuff, you also have stuff that crashes and burns like Anthem and Fallout 76 and all that stuff. But there are redemption stories, so hopefully a year from now we can be discussing Halo Infinite in a more positive light and it's got its shit together. Get your shit together, Halo. All right.
please,
And
yeah,
then
I'm one of those people where Halo was basically the foundation of my college experience, where we just played tons and tons of, uh, you know, couch co-op. I guess back then it was just co-op, but now we call it couch co-op. But yeah, like doing like the split screen multiplayer, and even being able to play on like our campus network, so we were able to like kind of play online. So yeah, I just want a return to glory for Halo would be great.
yeah, I think they're just over promising too many things. Just keep it simple. Give people the straight shooter that Halo was, Halo is, and people will be happy. Stop over promising, and I think you'll be fine. All right, and then moving on, in more topics of things that Nick hates, Assassin's Creed Mirage got kind of leaked by Ubisoft, which is kind of funny because Ubisoft always seems to leak their own stuff. They need to get a handle on that. It seems to be the next major Assassin's Creed game. It was originally planned as an expansion for Valhalla, but with the reception for all the last couple of Assassin's Creed and how people were already getting tired of them and how saturated it was, they decided to kind of skip this year. This one seems to be the next mainline one, but it won't be as expansive as Valhalla or Origins or Odyssey. It's going to be more stealth gameplay focused, which is what the original Assassin's Creed were kind of focused on. And this is kind of a little appetizer in terms of Assassin's Creed, because there have been rumors that there's going to be the next major mainline Assassin's Creed is supposed to be codename Infinity, which will kind of focus on basically multiple Assassin's Creed games in one. And that's kind of going to get more information September. Well, not that, but the Mirage is going to get more information on September 10th when Ubisoft holds their Ubisoft Forward event. I know you're not a big Assassin's Creed fan, but I myself, I got excited. I always like when Ubisoft announces these Assassin's Creed games and where they're going to be taking place and what period of history they're going to be dealing with, just because I feel like that part of it they do really well in terms of nailing the period and what's going on at the time and the places. I'm a big, I wouldn't say I'm a big history buff, but I'm a big like ruins buff or whatever. Architecture, old architecture buff. I like all that stuff. And I think they do a really good job. I'm excited for it. I haven't played Valhalla. It's the only one I haven't played. I'm still waiting for it to go a little bit lower. Or maybe if they have it on Game Pass, I'll play it on Game Pass once we do that. But I'm excited for this Ubisoft Forward on September 10th. I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed isn't the only thing they're going to be showing. The last couple months has been kind of lackluster for them in terms of their announcements and stuff like that. So I can't wait for them to show something and to show the future on what they're working on. Give me your
the only announcements they've had in the last several months is just delays, right?
Yeah. Give me your Ubisoft takes, please.
Ubisoft Forward is more just pushing forward the game releases.
That was so bad.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to talk about? It's got to be probably pretty heavy on Skull and Bones, right?
Yeah, I think it will be. It does seem like they're pushing Skull and Bones. This is going to be one of those other things. We haven't heard anything from Far Cry in a while, so I can probably see something Far Cry related. Obviously, Mario Rabian Rabbids is coming out soon, so I can see them doing something like that. But I can also see maybe something they haven't talked about in a while, like maybe Beyond Good and Evil or any Splinter Cell. Like, give us Ubisoft. I think they haven't announced anything in a while, and with all the harassment stuff and overworking and crunch stuff, all that stuff that was going on with the studios, I think they are kind of they need to get their fans and the community kind of excited for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give an announcement.
I think it's a big event for them. They've definitely been in the doghouse for seems like a while now for a number of reasons. So pretty important event, I think, for them to try to shift the narrative on the future of them as a publisher and getting people excited about their titles. Because right now, like, I think Skull and Bones is doomed for failure and don't care at all about Assassin's Creed. I wish I just gave you because I got that game for free and I still hated it. So I wish I just gave you the key that I got for that. So
I definitely probably would have enjoyed it more.
I mean, it was cool just to like it's technically an impressive game and it looks great, and so I just wanted to kind of run around for a little bit, but the gameplay is just so bad.
Well,
so maybe with the new one, maybe it's more of like a return to form of actual stealth, which I don't think I even attempted to any. Like I was just running around
Murdering,
stabbing people.
with a hidden blade.
Like the. So maybe that'll be a step in the right direction for that franchise. But yeah, I think Ubisoft's got to be one. It's the publisher that I have like just the least interest in. So, I go into all these showcases with like open. I'm like, hey, I'm ready to be blown away. So I'll give them a shot.
No, I think you are right. I think Assassin's Creed, especially being such a long-running franchise, I still remember the first one. I enjoyed it so much because of the stealth, because of the unique story it brought, and because of the environment that it was played on. And the latest ones with all they become more action oriented and XP grinding and stuff like that. So it has turned off a lot of people that just love the original one. And I'm not saying you can't have any action, you can't have any all that, but if the game is mainly focused on that, then it's just like every other game that's out there. It's like Uncharted, it's like Hitman. It's an action game. People want Assassin's Creed stealth and some weird Templar versus Assassins lore. So hopefully they're good and go back to those roots. So we'll see this week what the Ubisoft Forward brings us, and we'll cover it on next week's episode. So make sure you guys tune in.
Should we try to live stream it? We're so consistent about that.
Yeah. We can. We'll see. We'll see what the schedule is.
Right,
I don't want to promise anything right now
because
last live stream we promised it on the thing and nothing came of it because you got busy and I was busy. Yeah,
that's my fault. That's totally my fault. I think this one could be interesting because I think it's going to be such a train wreck that.
You want to be there. You want to see it.
Yeah, I kind of want to. The live reactions will be so good.
All right. I'm down. We'll do some research, see if our schedules line up, and we can do it technically wise, and we'll probably do it if we can. You know us. Okay. We like you guys seeing us. So, all right, moving on to the next.
You like that?
Yeah, because we're funny.
Okay.
Moving on to the next bit of news, we have Sony creating a mobile studio for video games and also acquiring Savage Game Studios, which is a mobile video game. So as you can see, especially at the beginning of the year with Take-Two acquiring, who did they acquire? Zynga?
Yeah, Zynga, right. Yep.
It was so long, our first or second episode. But yeah, Take-Two acquiring Zynga and Ubisoft and EA having PopCap and all that stuff. This year has definitely been the year of mobile video games or studios acquiring mobile developers just because they see the future and it seems to be video game related. You also have like Genshin Impact making so much money for NetEase? Is it NetEase?
It's HoYoverse.
Oh, HoYoverse. See, this is why I go to you for
used to be called MiHoYo, and they rebranded to HoYoverse.
Yeah, that's why I got to go to you for like all the corrections because you usually know the names of these things, and I'm just like popping them off on my head. But basically, Sony is really investing in the mobile video game market. It's a lot of money left on the table if they don't make it. They seem to already be working on a AAA mobile live service action game, so I'm kind of excited to see that. I'm not a big mobile gamer, but if Sony's kind of developing this or publishing it and they have confidence in their studio, especially purchasing this mobile game studio, I think it's something I might want to keep a lookout for and might see me playing on my iPhone. What do you think? I mean, obviously it's a good money move for Sony. Do you think it'll be up to par in terms of like it'll be a good game, or they're just kind of trying to get on this gotcha market?
I don't know. I like to think that Sony and PlayStation will have a bias for like actually making good games, but I think they're certainly trying to capture a lot of the market that's out there for mobile games, where it's like a lot of these free to play, gacha style things. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I'm more confident that PlayStation's mobile studio will create titles that I myself would actually want to play, whereas I'm less confident that the Take-Two Zynga, mashup is going to be something that I'm interested in playing. So, and yeah, I think there's just like a more like macro trend of like Genshin Impact is just, I don't even know how many billions of dollars the game has made, but you could ask the question, like, is that a console game or is that a mobile game? And I think I don't know. I think it's probably positioned as like a mobile game, but like you can play it on. I played it on my PC and it looks awesome. You can play it on consoles. It looks great. So I think there's this like blurring of the lines of the games, and it's going to become less important on like the actual thing that you play it on. So I think that's why like a lot of these bigger publishers, predominantly in console games, they're kind of seeing that as like, hey, like we can actually now, the technology is up there, whether that's just the phones, like the phone hardware is sophisticated enough, or leveraging cloud gaming. You're going to be able to play more console type experiences on mobile games. And so I think everyone's just trying to figure out how to crack the code of doing that, and then also capturing all the money that you're currently seeing in mobile games, which is also a boatload of money every year. So
Yeah, and I can totally see, especially with the franchises that Sony has, maybe some kind of synergy where they could do maybe a lot of companion video game apps, or just mobile versions of those games. I can totally hope for that, like God of War, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, anything like that in the mobile market would be pretty awesome.
yeah, I think hopefully there's like an Astrobot game that like I don't know. I could see that translating. I mean, I'm sure they're going to do like much more than that, but I could see them doing like something cool with Astrobot as a mobile title. Yeah, is there anything else? I don't
Well,
know.
no, I think like
We'll,
Little Big
we'll,
Planet,
we'll let them figure it out.
yeah, like Little Big Planet or something like that. They're very good at making
Yeah.
small sample pieces that fit in the mobile market that I think people can enjoy for maybe like an hour or something like that on their phone, and not get too tired and go back to it. So I'm hoping that they do come out with some good stuff, and we'll see. Maybe that'll really turn me into a mobile gamer. You know how much I hate gaming on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last bit of news, we have Hideo Kojima is releasing the first episode for his video game podcast, Brain Structure, that launches on September 8th. And then we also have Masahiro Sakurai is going to be doing a YouTube series on creating video games. I think it's a great topic. It's always good to see these game directors, especially such renowned directors as Kojima and Sakurai, doing some sort of I would say keynote or presentation, or just discussing the creative process on video games. And for us, the players and people who enjoy talking and just getting insight on video games, being able to absorb this knowledge, I think it's great. I'm going to be on the lookout for this just because I kind of want to see their insight, and maybe if I can get some new information on their thought process and how video games work for them and what makes them tick. What about you? Are you excited for these type of adventures that these guys are going on?
Yeah, I'm very excited. So yeah, Kojima's podcast I think is going to be more. Yeah, I think he used the term like creative process. I think it's going to be like not just video games, just kind of more broadly around, talking with and doing interviews with other creatives. So it could be like people from the film industry and things like that. So yeah, I'll be curious. I definitely want to check that out. The Sakurai one. So Sakurai is the guy who did, Smash Brothers and Kirby games and Kid Icarus Uprising, and so he's got a strong track record of delivering a lot of great titles. His is more focused on like game development. So that's on YouTube. That I think he's done like 5 or 6 videos so far. So his format's like I think quite a bit different than the brain structure podcast from Kojima, where I think that's more typical kind of podcast, a little bit longer format. And then Sakurai is like, it's more of these kind of like snackable 2 to 5 minute videos focused on, again, like kind of game development insights and how he thinks about game development and some just like kind of core concepts. So yeah, I've watched them all. Like they're, it's not like anything crazy, but it's just kind of, I think it's just like interesting to kind of hear him talk through how he thinks about game design and certain mechanics. And again, like the videos are very short, so you can kind of just like plow through them, which is always great. And then they're very like well edited. So there's lots of, I don't know, I was kind of surprised by how much kind of editing and illustrations and visuals kind of go into it. I know I'm not one to speak, but like I was kind of surprised by like how bad his audio quality is. But I know mine's not perfect, but like I kind of would expect his to be, a little bit better. But other than his audio quality,
what's that whole thing about throwing rocks at glass houses?
Yeah. I know. That was a layup.
Shame.
But yeah, other than that, yeah. So like I'm really enjoying that series. There was also Harada, who I can't remember his exact title at Bandai Namco now, but he's like, I think like the top kind of creative game guy at Bandai Namco though. But he's either like the director or producer of Tekken. So he's been like the Tekken guy. He's more or less the face of Tekken for a very, very long time. He's also been doing a series that's called Harada's Bar, where he just has a guest. Again, it could be games, it could be movies. It kind of just depends on whatever he wants to do, but it's actually really cool. So like, it's an actual bar. There's like a chef, like making bar snacks, and then he's like, he's also like serving out, beer and stuff like that. But like, they're just like hanging out at a bar, and he's doing an interview. So.
I need to get on that.
It's cool.
Be a guest on that.
Yeah, he had Sakurai on. I don't think it was like in the bar, but it was just like some, as part of his show where Harada was doing interviews, and he had Sakurai on there. That was like probably some of the most enjoyable stuff. Again, just hearing Sakurai and how he like approaches things, and I don't know, he's just like seems like a cool guy. Has done some cool stuff in games, so it's just kind of cool to hear from him. So yeah, it seems like there's a trend of, I guess those are all Japanese guys, creating either YouTube series or podcast where they kind of dig in a little bit more around, the games they've worked on, the creative process, certain insights that they have. Working in games for such a long time. So I don't know if I've seen, I don't think I've seen as much of that from Western developers, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think it is weird that, the US being kind of, the Western market itself kind of being just kind of more into that whole aspect of promoting and stuff like that, and just getting more information out to more people, that the Japanese market, the Eastern market, is more of the ones that kind of lead the way in terms of having these shows. Because I can't think of that many directors for games, for whether it be from Microsoft or Sony, just kind of like having their own YouTube series, just kind of talking about it and bringing other people in. So I definitely, it does sound something like not that'll impart a lot of knowledge that I kind of want to see. So I'll check it out, definitely.
Yeah, and I've seen plenty of developers go on like other podcasts as a guest. I just don't know if I've seen like a big, marquee, developer kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, I think that's just probably going to continue. We'll see more of that, I guess. I think it becomes a great kind of marketing and promotion engine. So I think once that becomes more obvious to people, I think they'll then figure out a way to like carve out the time Because as we've learned, it actually takes time to produce a podcast. so, uh, so yeah, I think maybe they'll figure out that it's actually worthwhile to put in the effort to do one of these things. And so, but yeah, I mean I love this stuff. I love hearing kind of how, again, kind of like the industry insights and how people approach creative endeavors. So I'm going to consume it all.
Yeah, man. It's like I remember there was like a Hollywood thing, I think, letter to the producers or something like that, where they would have like different producers each week come in and explain the process. So somebody, if there was like a major studio director or somebody like that that would have their own show for the Western market, I think that would be great. And I would definitely tune in just to see what goes on in all these directors and producers' head. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to deal with and a lot of stuff to get right. Maybe that is one of the reasons that they don't have it. They don't want to reveal too much, or somebody's going to be demanding too much. When's the next God of War coming out?
Yeah, I think that there is an element of that where I think maybe like just based on kind of some of the other conversations we've been having around toxic communities, maybe they like don't want to put their put their voice out more than they need to, just to kind of avoid having to deal with that type of situation. I don't know. Yeah.
We'll be the first to do it. We just got to get more guests. Well, or a guest. And then it'll roll from there. Don't worry, guys. Our first guest, whoever that is, it's going to be great. We're going to be great. And it's just going to get the ball rolling. All right. So that does it for news for the week. Very, very light week again. But obviously some good information out there for you guys who haven't heard any of this, or if you have, just more detailed stuff. This week it should kind of pick up just because Ubisoft has their forward, and there should be more announcements coming up. TGS is coming up, Tokyo Game Show is coming up soon, D23 is coming out soon, so hopefully we get some video game news out there. So tune in and make sure you stick with us for more video game news. All right, and moving on, we are going to our closing thoughts. Very light week for me. I mean, I'm in a rut of not knowing what to play. I've been kind of throwing out feelers, asking people. I asked you guys in the group, should I play Yakuza? I don't know. Do I want to get into Yakuza? I don't know. I started playing Hades again, then I got out of Hades. Ninja Turtles, got out of Ninja Turtles. I'm in a rut. I don't know what to play. I have still been playing Destiny, but that's just because it's a weekly thing, and I like doing the raids and the dungeons, so that I'll definitely stick with. But just like I want to play like a single player game and kind of submerge myself in it, so I'm kind of lost. And the funny thing is,
play like a dragon. Just play it.
I don't know if I want to do RPG stuff. That's the
It
other
was, my game of the year whenever that came out. So
thing. I think it was the game of the year after it came out.
that's all I should have to say.
For a different year.
No, I think it came out.
Was
it
it
came
game of
out
the year in 22?
No, I think it came out at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
Is that right?
PC,
I don't know. It's either 2020 or 2021. It's such a blur.
COVID's
but it
such
came
a
out.
blur.
It came out at the end of whatever year it launched. So that year it came out, it was like my game of the year for sure.
The funny thing is, I have so many single player games that I could play, but there's also a bunch of new games that I haven't bought. So like, I'm controlling myself in not spending money and playing games that I own. I just need to pull the trigger and do that. I have a lot of games I own. I don't know. They're not calling me. They're not pulling me. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Besides that, I've been watching League of Legends playoffs. They're still going on. I believe the European playoffs and the American playoffs are still yet to be settled. Most everybody's locked in for Worlds. There should be one last weekend, which is next weekend or this weekend coming up. That'll decide who the European champion is and who the American champion is, and then everybody will be set for Worlds, which starts off in October. And if you guys have been listening, they're doing I believe it's the group stage and the quarterfinals. They're doing them here in New York City. And I'm excited because we're going to go. Nick is going to go for one of the days. I'm trying to go for a couple of the days to kind of get a vibe of the whole scene. And if it's fun, I love some merchandise, maybe get some merch and stuff like that. And then we have some guys from the community who are also big League fans who I play League a lot with. They're coming up to New York, and we're going to do a little meetup. So, yeah, the tickets are going out soon, I believe September 8th. So keep on the lookout for that. And join the Discord if you guys want to maybe come together and do a little League meetup and go watch some League. I'm excited for that. Besides Evo, I don't think I've ever been to an esports competition, and Evo was amazing, and I'm excited to see what the League of Legends crowd brings. I know the game itself can get toxic, and it's just, you get mad at the game and all that stuff, but the community seems pretty chill and very dedicated, so I'm excited for that. And it's a team game as opposed to like with Evo, it was all individual one-on-one competitions. With this one, I want to see that aspects of it, especially being such like a big sports fan. I want to see esports in a team environment, see how that kind of works, especially live, because I believe this is the first one that they're doing live again in a stadium. I believe last year it was still, because of COVID, people were able to fly. I think it was to Sweden or wherever it was, but there was no crowds. But we're back in Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, and I'm excited. And hopefully you get excited too. We'll see.
Yeah, oddly enough, I think this will be the first time I've ever gone to Madison Square Garden.
Oh wow!
Even though I've lived in New York for like
Oof.
14 years or something like that.
I
don't even know how that's possible. Yeah, but
I love Madison Square Garden, man. I've gone there for a couple of hockey games and basketball games and concerts. It's a good venue. Obviously, it's a bit outdated compared to the much newer ones, but just it's Madison Square Garden, man. Unbelievable.
I got to do it. Well, it's only fitting that I go there for an esports competition for a game that I don't play.
There you go. What better way to do it?
Yeah.
All right. What do you have?
Cool. Is that it?
Thoughts? Yeah, that's it.
That's I think the leanest Hugo closing thoughts I've ever heard. Okay.
I'll be back for more next week, maybe.
Okay. Well, just get Like a Dragon and problem solved.
We'll see.
It's so good, and it's like great on Steam Deck.
Well, you know what it is too. Like I said, I'm a big sports guy, so football season just started. So like college football's back on. The NFL starts next week.
Why? It's perfect. Why?
Baseball
with the Steam
playoffs.
Deck, you can play the game while you're watching football. I mean, there's so much synergy.
That is true. And I have been using my Steam Deck very lightly, so I feel like I need to get more use out of it after spending so much on it. But that's my fault, not the Steam Deck's fault.
That is your fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm still moving for people who are watching on YouTube. I think it's better. So this is like my office space. Like it looks better than it did last week, right? So it's slightly less trash, but still kind of a mess.
Work in progress, baby.
I got a TV now. I'm using. I think you'll be able to see this on the video. So I'm using
you'll be able to see the whole thing.
I'm using an entryway bench with a box on top of it as my TV stand until I get my actual TV unit, and then I have a chair here, and it's coming together.
This is perfect. You ever see those memes where it's like a guy invites you over to the apartment and this is it? A TV on like a cooler and a bed on the floor. This is that. So perfect.
It's pretty much that, yeah. I mean, the one I like is the one where it's like it's someone's basement, and it's like I think it's like a CRT, like old school television, like on top of like one of those like red, like plastic like cartons, and it's just like it looks like a total dungeon. So This
As
isn't
long
that
as you
far
can
away from
game
that, but
and watch TV, you're fine.
yeah. But I think this will be the last week where it looks like this. So I get my actual stuff on Friday, and then I'll have a pretty busy weekend next week, just like actually having my stuff again and being able to set everything up the way I want it. So yeah, that'll be fun to have like an actual setup again. Because I got this TV now, I've been able to kind of actually play games somewhat normally again. I think last week I mentioned I had just bought Soul Hackers 2. I had only played it for a couple hours at that point. I think throughout the week I've been able to, I think I'm up to like 18 or 20 hours or something like that. So, I put some work into that game this week. I really like it. I think I also last week kind of mentioned that it's getting like kind of mixed, like skewing like positive, but there's definitely some people who are like, I hate this. I can see why, like the dungeon crawling aspect of it is like as simplistic as it gets, where it's like, like I don't even know how to describe it, but like it's literally like the most plain map like that you've seen like in a very long time, and you're not doing too much. But like I kind of like that. Like I like because everything built around it is like it's fun. Like the combat system's cool. It's kind of like the standard, Persona, Shin Megami battle system. I think like the monsters and all that look great. Like it's got a lot of like really cool visuals. Story's cool. The progression system is enjoyable. So I don't know. Like I'm enjoying like the core kind of like gameplay loop, and it doesn't bother me how. I think I've used this term before to describe other games, but kind of like how brainless like some of the dungeon crawling is. Like I kind of like that, where it's like I don't really want to think too much. I just want to complete the map, collect a bunch of stuff, kill some monsters, beat the bosses, progress the story. Like it's that easy. There's even one of the more recent dungeons had like a bit of a puzzle element to it, and I'm just like, no, too much
puzzles.
thinking. Like
No
I
puzzles.
go back. Let's go back to brainless. Like, so yeah, I've been really enjoying it. So I think it's a shorter game. Like a lot of these Persona games are known for like being insanely long. I think this one should probably take me about like 30 to 40 hours or somewhere around there. So I guess maybe I'm like halfway done. But yeah, really enjoying it. So
Well, it sounds like that. What was that mobile game the Ni no Kuni, but with a little bit more effort?
no, it's not that bad. Ni no Kuni.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's more effort. You're not just letting it rock and do its whole thing, and you don't do anything. You're actually doing some things, but not everything.
No, I mean with Ni no Kuni, it was like the like auto battler mode, right? Where like you literally don't do anything. Like it moves the character for you from point A to point B. It does all the fights. So it's not quite that. Like I guess Ni no Kuni is the most. It's about as brainless as it gets. Like literally, because an AI is doing everything for you. Brainless as it applies to Soul Hackers 2 is probably more like I use that term for like the early stages of Final Fantasy 14, where it's just like a lot of point A to point B kind of fetch quests. You're kind of doing a lot of the, which I enjoyed. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but like I'm totally fine with that for certain games. So maybe it's more like kind of Final Fantasy 14 early on as like as an analogy, as opposed to Ni no Kuni. But yeah, that's so yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I think that's all I've been playing.
One game, wow, and I'm proud of you.
And then I think on game night we did the usual like Rocket League and all that. So But yeah, I'm all in on Soul Hackers too.
All right, I might have to check that out down the road. It is going to be a big month for RPGs. I know Square Enix has like a whole bunch of RPGs coming out this month, so maybe
Yeah,
the next one.
yeah, I'm looking
the
forward
next one's
to. Hopefully at Tokyo Game Show they have like a blowout of just, maybe some new announcements. But I think there's a lot of games that they have already announced that I'm very excited about. So
yeah, me too. All right, so that does it for episode 33 of Pressing Buttons. Thanks for joining us, guys. And make sure to check out Discord, helping the community. Make sure you jump in there if you have any feedback or if you want to share anything with the community. Our link is in the website. And make sure you check that out. And then maybe you get a free t-shirt down the road. Maybe you get a free t-shirt before Nick down the road. Who knows? But thanks for joining us. I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick. Later.